Howdy and welcome to Cereal at Midnight. My name is Heath and this is Fresh Flavors. It's been a while since the last Fresh Flavors, so if you're new to what this is, it's new release coverage. This is a stack of new releases. It's a massive stack, but I'm really leaning into the cereal theme with the Fresh Flavors titling. Some of this stuff came in during October, but because we were so horror focused, for the scary movie season, I held it for just this moment. We got so much to talk about. New releases from lots of the major, from just about everybody. Some really high profile releases, some 4Ks. You guys, we got so much to talk about. So before I go any further, thanks to everyone that's supporting this channel by subscribing, by leaving comments, and by giving it the old I'm holding up two, but you can really only give one. By the way, people comment sometimes on how my thumb goes way back. I don't know. And I can also do this, and I can do this. And I guess not everybody can. Sometimes people are like, whoa, your fingers doing crazy things. I can't, I don't know. So anything you can do to support this channel, thank you so much. We also have a Patreon support campaign, I guess, at patreon.com/CerealAtMidnite. Over 130 exclusive episodes. We did a group watch of Beetlejuice for the Halloween month. Lots of stuff going on there all the time, including an exclusive private group just for Patreon supporters. All right, let's do it. As they would say in The World's End, let's boo-boo. All right, from Universal, we have the Christmas, what is this? The Classic Christmas Specials Collection. This is the 4K set. We all probably own at least one copy of these specials. This is the new 4K set, and when this was announced, I saw a lot of people being like, "Wow, how much better can it look?" It looks better. I gotta tell you, it looks better because I watched all three of these movies. Maybe I'll do a full review closer to Christmas. It's awful early for this, but I know this is popping up, right? This is out now, so I love Rankin Bass. I love these holiday specials, and I'm always happy to upgrade formats for the things that I really love if there's a need to do so. So the question is, like, is this a step up from Blu-ray? It most certainly is. It really is. And all three of these specials, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty, and Santa Claus is Coming to Town, have been given the HDR Dolby Vision pass. And so richer spectrum. Here's how I think I want to start talking about 4K. I was telling somebody this the other day. I was like, I think my new metaphor for 4K, specifically for 4K with HDR, because it doesn't all have HDR, is that it's like dark chocolate compared to milk chocolate. It's like 4K with HDR is richer. It's usually darker, but it has a much wider spectrum, and it's just a more intense experience. And I think that's a good way to sum these up. It is darker, but it's not like, gray snow or anything like that. I think that's my experience with HDR, is it just widens things up. But Blu-rays are always brighter, in my opinion, than 4Ks, or almost always. And I think it's because with HDR, they're really tapping into a darker, richer color spectrum. And we're meant to watch these in a dark room. That's part of the 4K setup, is we watch them in a dark room. But pretty much everything that's been covered, what's left to say about these specials? I love them. I'm just gonna save it for a full review. But if you're wondering, yeah, it looks good. It looks better than the Blu-rays. But here's the thing: the Blu-rays here are not the Blu-rays that we already have. These are brand new Blu-rays with the 4K masters on Blu-ray. So how do I want to say this? If you don't have these specials yet, this is the one to get. And if you don't love that richer color spectrum that I'm talking about, then the Blu-rays have the latest transfers without HDR, right? So I'll leave it there. So I think I'm pretty happy with it. From Warner Brothers, I've got a stack of stuff from Warner Brothers, and we're kicking it off with some cartoon coverage. They have released, Cartoon Network just turned 30. which I can't believe because it doesn't feel like it's been 30 years. I'm of the generation that grew up, like my Cartoon Network was Space Ghost Coast to Coast. It was Dexter's Laboratory, Johnny Bravo. It was the Powerpuff Girls, the version 1.0. Shows, even Samurai Jack. That's really, when I think of Cartoon Network, that's what I'm thinking about. But there were other shows from the original generation of the show as well. So they've just, Warner Brothers they own Cartoon Network. They have issued Ed, Edd, and Eddy, the complete series, and Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, the complete series package for both of these. These are DVDs, no Blu-ray option. And they're pretty well done. I'm going to show you guys. They each come with a booklet. And here is, so let's see, Ed, Edd, and Eddy is 10 discs. It does not have there's various specials and things that are associated with this. This is just the seasons, just the shows. Here's the booklet. It does have special features. But here's the thing. Actually, there's controversy. I'm going to save it for when we talk about, here, we're going to talk about Foster's too. So, same thing. Did I hold up the back of Ed, Edd, and Eddy? Let me hold that up for you. Got another little booklet here that has the episodes listing. More bonus features here. Come on. So I'll say this. A lot of content per DVD, but it's mostly okay. Because it is DVD, DVDs have come a long way in the last, since they debuted 25 years ago. Actually, it's been longer than that now, hasn't it? Come on. All right. Here's the controversy. Some of these episodes are, and I'm going to try to keep which is which straight. I think it's Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends has episodes that are pillar boxed, meaning that there are black bars on the top and the sides of the screen. I believe that's correct. Because they're widescreen, transfers, they're not 4:3. They're the episodes themselves are in the wider format, but they're pillar boxed on each side. So that's not ideal. But here's the thing. Oh, and so in Ed, Edd, and Eddy, there are stretched episodes. And so if you watch these shows on HBO Max, which, full disclosure, I don't have HBO Max. I'm not huge on streaming. Look, that's why I buy all this stuff and support physical media. That's the transfers that are on HBO Max. So the question becomes, does Warner Brothers have access to the proper presentations? Or is this all that survives as far as these episodes go? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that, but it's interesting that the exact same transfers from streaming are what we have here, which would imply to me, doing my Sherlock Holmes deduction. This is my pipe. My Sherlock Holmes power of deduction. That maybe those original versions that aren't pillar boxed or stretched are not available, or they don't know where they are. But it's not all the episodes. I will say the majority here, and I have not gone through every single episode, but the majority of episodes here look and sound just fine. They look like they're supposed to. But there are some interesting, some caveats there. And then the missing things, because it's only the episodes. Each one of one of these has the movie is included as well. Which one of these? See, I'm getting too deep into this. I'm getting further into this than I wanted to get into it. So do your own independent research. These are out now. I'm not an expert on these shows. They're after my time, but I'm discovering them through these box sets, and I'm enjoying what I like so far. What do you guys think about those shows? I know there's huge fans out there. From more like, this is Adult Swim goodness. So this is the new Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie. This is Aqua Teen Forever Plantasm, the 4K Blu-ray and digital code. Aqua Teen Hunger Force got a complete series DVD release a couple of months ago, and full disclosure, I asked to review it and I didn't get it, so I did not cover that. I have not bought that. I do not have that, but it's interesting that they did release that on DVD. This comes with an exclusive poster. It's this art. Do I even need to unfold it? I'll unfold it because it's right here. So there's the poster. They do this with Rick and Morty too. Warner Brothers distributes Rick and Morty. And sometimes they throw a poster in there. Is that an incentive for you guys? I'm genuinely asking. And if you do get a poster, do you put it up anywhere? I would like to know. So we have our digital code. We have a Blu-ray, the 4K and the Blu-ray here. And it has some special features, commentary. Here, I'll hold this up. Oh, that's very reflective. Let me point it down. Okay. Hopefully you guys can read that easily. And full disclosure, I have not watched this movie yet either. There's going to be a lot of things here that I have not gotten to yet because I was focused on Halloween. And honestly, covering as much of the Halloween stuff coming out as I could. So this is still in my to-watch list. We Baby Bears, a show that I've never heard of, but when I went to the internet, people really seem to like this. It's got like a real anime style, but I don't think it seems to be, it's not Japanese. It's a Western show. Not like a howdy partner, but it's not, I guess it's American. It's a US made show. 20 episodes. So I think IMDb tells me that 34 episodes have been produced of this show. So this is a nice chunk of what has been produced so far. 11-minute episodes. What do you guys think about We Baby Bears? And then we have 2 from Warner Archive. These are the September releases, I believe, but they came in during October for me. So we have Abe Lincoln in Illinois, or Illinois, depending on how you pronounce Illinois. And this is a really good movie. It's an interesting choice because yeah, I don't know. These movies are deep cuts. Rachel. This is a Paul Newman. See, this feels like Paul Newman, Joanne Woodward. This feels like it was coordinated with that documentary series that Ethan Hawke produced about Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward. But is that Netflix? Where did that come on? But it was I think I want to say it was a 5 or 6 part. Anyways, it was a documentary series about Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward. So this seems like it's a kind of a timed release for that. I'm so glad that it's out on Blu-ray because this is 1968. That's like my sweet spot here. What was the year on Abe Lincoln in Illinois? 1940. Lux Radio broadcast as a special feature, and then a silent promo footage for this one. But I love what Warner Archive's doing. Have not gotten my hands on their October releases yet. They did a we'll talk about it. They put out some great new horror restorations during October, but I don't have them yet, so we'll talk about them later. Also from Warner Brothers, I know very little about this show other than it's getting lots of good publicity. Euphoria seasons 1 and seasons 2. This is DVD, so I know. Got some special features. You see it's still sealed. I haven't even unsealed it yet. So I don't know. I've seen like all the buzz, all the hype about Euphoria, and it seems really interesting. I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure this is for me, given my age and given I don't know. What do you guys think about Euphoria? I'm sure you guys can tell me better than I can tell you what you think about it because I haven't seen it. This is a big one for me. The Little Rascals, The Complete Collection from Classic Flicks. This is the Centennial Edition celebrating 100 years of The Little Rascals. Now, these are the Classic Flicks restorations. We've talked about, I think I've got volumes 1 through 5 here, and volume 6 is by the television because it's still being watched. Classic Flicks, as you know, because David from Classic Flicks announced the restoration campaign a couple of years ago right here at Cereal at Midnight. I love these guys. I love the company, and I love what they're doing. These are the beautiful restorations of the sound shorts that are part of the Hal Roach catalog, Hal Roach library. And they were released one at a time. Basically, the way I explain it is that the sales of each volume funded future volumes. Because it's expensive to restore stuff. I mean, it's really, really, really expensive. And those sales that's how that project was brought to life, is by the sales of what was coming out. So now they've been repackaged in this box set. I'm seeing all sorts of reactions on the internet. Here's what I can tell you. 6 discs, individual volumes with special features. And There's something going on. I think there's construction going outside. I don't know if you can hear that or not, and I'm kind of distracted. So 6 volumes versus all the shorts here are presented. It's all those shorts. If you supported the 6 volumes, same shorts, but it's 5 Blu-rays instead of 6 Blu-rays. But it's complicated because there's a 6th disc here of just special features. And it's an amazing special features disc. And you can actually order this disc by itself for people that have funded and supported the individual releases. So here's what we're dealing with. You see there's 4 hubs there and 6 discs. So you know what that means. We've got stacked discs here and stacked discs here. This is I gotta be very careful. This is a general market release meant to capitalize on the 100th anniversary of the Little Rascals. And I think for people that already bought the original, I think that I'm so glad that I have the individual volumes because it's more breathing room on each disc. They feel like a premium product. This is a more mainstream product, and maybe that's you. Maybe that's who we're talking about. Is you're like, well, I wasn't sure about it, but now that they're all there in one box, I'll pick them up. The first disc has a 6-minute introduction, a new 6-minute introduction from Leonard Maltin, and it's great. It's like it gave me goosebumps. It's really great. Talking about the history of the Little Rascals. Our Gang is what we're talking about. The Our Gang shorts, talking about Hal Roach, talking about the actors, the kids themselves, and it's celebrating 100 years. And nobody's better equipped to do that than Leonard Maltin. I hope that I get to talk to Leonard Maltin one day. I've reached out before, and he's busy, but I hope that I get to talk to Leonard Maltin because I have such respect for him. And the 6th disc here is the special features disc. And if you're wondering if it's worth buying on its own, if you already have the 6 volumes, yeah, it is. So I'm going to hold this up and you can see everything that's on that 6th and final disc. And it's truly amazing. Some of it really, it made me emotional, honestly. So it's over 4 hours of special features on this bonus disc. So they've got the only surviving foreign language shorts, 3 newly restored Our Gang silent shorts. That's what's exciting is that the silents are being restored. And a 30-minute feature on the music of Our Gang. Then and Now, a special tour of Our Gang shooting locations. That's the one that really hit me because you guys know I'm a history guy. Like I was film history is my focus. Not collecting, it's film history and access. That's why I support these discs, because I want access to film history with all the special features and the commentaries and all that stuff. And it's a tour. It's looking at locations from like 90 years ago or more, and then showing what they look like now. And like goosebumps, you guys. It's amazing. It's because I also love old Hollywood and old Los Angeles, and that's what it is. It's like a tour of old Los Angeles, and then you see paved paradise and put up a parking lot, right? But what's interesting, there's a fire station that's now a tattoo parlor. There's one of the most famous buildings from the Our Gang shorts is now what was it? It was like a physical, I think it's a physical therapy place. But it's fascinating to see how, Los Angeles keeps trying to pave over their history, but the roots are there. You can still see the foundation is still there. Our Gang reunion. Oh, hold on, I skipped one. Our Gang Centennial at the Hollywood Museum. They're celebrating 100 years. Pardon me. At the Hollywood Museum, they have done an exhibit and they had an event. So they got costumes. Some of the people, the surviving cast members have come to pay, to appear. This is an event. Leonard Maltin was there. So it's like 18 minutes roughly of footage, like the best of that experience. And it's really great, short of being able to go yourself, which I'd really like to go. Our Gang reunion is, it's interesting. In 1951, I can't find out, I think it was 51. I've also seen it credited to 52. But in 1951, they did a cast reunion for some of the original Little Rascals on television. That's right, TV existed in 1951, youngins. And so they have, and it's like, here's what's interesting is it had only been, 25 years, but, and they're adults, talking about their kids and all this stuff. And then you think about how much longer ago 1951 was from now. And, it's great. A Day in the Life of Spanky and Porky is a 48-minute, it's 47 and change, look at, they spent it in 1985. There was this event that Spanky and Porky were at, and they followed him around. Radio appearances. There's image galleries and a ton of rarities. There's commercials here, like in-theater ads to win a bicycle from, Spanky's doing that. There's what's another one of my favorite ones here? Spanky McFarlane interviewed by Tommy Bond. I mean, it just goes on and on. I know I'm spending a lot of time on this, but it's because my heart is in it. I love it. And while I put this back together, let's take a quick break. I'll see you in just a second. All right, and we're back. Where is my hoodie? That was the transition. It's invisible. All right, this is something really cool. You know I love Time Life box sets. There's two. They couldn't be further from each other. They're super different. Russell Simmons' Def Comedy Jam All-Stars and Amazing Grace. Country stars sing songs of hope. So country stars sing songs of faith and hope. So let's take these one at a time. We'll start with Def Comedy Jam. So it's I believe it's 10 discs, 12 discs. I'm sorry. It's a 12 disc set. It's broken down into two individual halves. And here's the booklet. So it's essentially a ton of Def Comedy Jam episodes. And there's also the last disc here, the 12th disc, is Shaq and Cedric the Entertainer present All-Star Comedy Jam. So I have not watched all of this yet. I'm working my way through it. Easy, there's a lot of stuff coming in, but I have started it, and so far, I want you guys to know. Well, here you can see some of the people that are associated with this. So far, Chris Tucker has blown me away. He's like 20, and he's so flippin' funny. I've watched his set twice. Martin Lawrence hosts a lot of them. Chris Rock hosts some. Cedric the Entertainer hosts some. Cedric the Entertainer is very funny in his set too. The other, Bernie Mac, is so funny. He has the audience eating out of his hand. I mean, he's just like... This is the thing, like, there's so many comedians here. A lot of them are funny, but then some of them are like, you're like, oh, they're a star. They have something that the other people don't have. So... Let's say I got to be careful here because I think there's some things in here that are not necessarily YouTube safe. I'm trying to get to the the contributor. Well, they don't have that. Okay. Here, I'll just read some names. So Steve Harvey, Tracy Morgan, who I got to see live. I saw Tracy Morgan live in the early 2000s, well before 30 Rock. Bernie Mac, Queen Latifah, D.L. Hewley, Kevin Hart, Tiffany Haddish, Adele Givens, Bill Bellamy, Mike Epps, Dave Chappelle. I saw Dave Chappelle too in the early 2000s before the Chappelle Show. I think what we're learning is that I'm older than a lot of you guys are. I don't know. I see the analytics, and some of my demographics is pretty large. It's a wide demographic. Martin Lawrence, Cedric the Entertainer. Again, I'm reading these to you because there are words in here that might jeopardize my monetization, so I'm not messing around with that. It's really great stuff. It's interesting the way they've lined this up, and I don't really understand it. Oh, here's the individual booklet with the cast list. Okay, I should be able to show you this. The cast list. The people involved. All right. Boom. There's discs. What? Come on. There's discs 1 through 6. All right. But, I don't understand. So, disc 1, season 1, episode 5. And then disc 2, we got 2 season 6 episodes. Disc 3, season 1, episode 1. Why is season 1, episode 1 not on the first disc at the very beginning? I don't know. I don't understand, necessarily where some of this stuff's coming from, but there's a lot of stuff. It's not, you see also, it's not complete. This is not the complete Def Comedy Jam or anything like that. Presumably, when we talk about music collections, there's all sorts of rights and issues involved. I wouldn't think that would be a problem here. By the way, because they put these these little booklets in here. They just by nature get crimped, a little bent. And there's the list for that one. But it's really, really, really funny. It's also interesting to see how far comedy has come since it starts out in the early 90s. And like we have changed. Even comedy right now, just in general, it's not safe. Like, you can't really do comedy because everybody wants to cancel you as soon as you say something that's remotely offensive. And comedy is usually offensive. Comedy is surprise, shock and surprise. That's where comedy comes from. And, you don't see it. You're like, oh, that was unexpected. Ha ha ha. By the way, all these comedians, when they talk about how black people laugh, or when they talk about how they're black comedians, talk about how white people laugh, all the white people laugh like this. And I think I kind of just laugh like that. So I don't know. But what I was going to say is the theme, so far, the consistent theme that so many of the comedians have, like, you want to think, like, what's the topic that they've talked about more than any other? Roaches. That's the thing that is, like, almost every comedian, at least one of those episodes, at least one comedian per episode brings up a bit about roaches. So, funny stuff. All right, hard turn here to Amazing Grace. Songs, country stars sing songs of faith and hope. That's how you have to say it. So, this thing is packed with really famous people. Dolly is here. I'm just looking at pictures here. I could go. Let's go. Do we want to go page by page to the booklet? No, but I am going to get to the. Does anybody know what this building is? It's the Grand Ole Opry, the Ryman Auditorium. So here, Dolly. This is what I was looking for. It's essentially a Southern gospel set. They don't call it that. I'm not sure why. Country stars sing songs of faith and hope. It's Southern gospel. And they're all hymns, and there's power in the blood. I saw the light. Randy Travis doing 3 wooden crosses. That's not Southern gospel. That's just country. But Just a Closer Walk with Thee by George Jones. Alabama's all over this set. Brenda Lee, Just a Little Talk with Jesus. So here, I'm just going to... I'll hold it up. Yeah. I'll hold up all the pages, and you can if you're super interested in this set. See, here's the thing. I don't know if you guys are interested in this or not. You can let me know in the comments below. From a musical historical perspective, it's great. But I don't know if this is my demographic or not. But you'll let me know. So here, let's hit some of the high notes here. So Alabama, Oak Ridge Boys, Randy Travis, Alan Jackson, Dolly Parton, Ricky Skaggs, Bill Anderson, George Jones. Let's see, who else do I want to shout out? The Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, Tennessee Ernie Ford. But then, see, here's the thing. So the last 2 discs in the set, this is what Time Life does. They always supplement their set with something else that you're a little bit surprised by. So it's all the Southern gospel. By the way, a lot of this stuff is taken from Bill Gaither homecoming specials, if you know what those are. I have a complicated relationship with some of this stuff because I grew up super duper religious, and I am in the South, and so a lot of this stuff was always around, but there was also an element of, a lot of damage from church as well. Do I have this close by? I don't see it. There's a documentary called The Jesus Music. I think I wrote a review for it and I covered it in videos. It's about Christian music, gospel music, and like the whole contemporary Christian music scene of the 80s and the 90s. They talked to like Stryper and they really did their research on it. Bill Gaither's in that, and he kind of won me over with his attitude because he was like, just the thing. He said all the right things, and I was like, this guy's all right. You know what? This fellow's all right, see? It's all these things, and then the last 2 discs are Opry gospel classics, and that's the old school stuff, and that's what I'm most interested in probably here. Connie Smith, Martina McBride, Loretta Lynn, Porter Wagner, Roy Acuff, Ronnie Millsap, Flatt and Scruggs, now you're talking my language, Ferlin Husky, Charlie Pride, Roy Clark, Brenda Lee, the Hee Haw Cast. That's Buck Owens, Roy Clark, man. So that's where I get my money's worth with the last 2 discs because it's all old school stuff, and as we have well established long ago, I'm a historical kind of guy. So, Amazing Grace, country star sings songs of faith and hope, which you can watch after the Def Comedy Jam, so you can feel clean. I don't know, because that Def Comedy Jam is real. It's real blue, man. It's real dirty. From Mill Creek Entertainment, we've got 2 new releases: Ultraman Nexus and Ultraman The Next. So a lot of you guys are interested in this one. And here's like Ultraman with Mill Creek. We're almost done. And I'm sad. It's a mixed thing, right? Because we have gotten, like, I have an entire I have an entire shelf of Ultraman releases, and because they put them out, like, how many, at least like a dozen a year. I'm not caught up at all, but I don't want to see it end. And I know there's a few things that we still haven't received yet, or we still don't have yet. And there are some things that weren't part of the deal anyway. So I'm like, well, maybe they can get a deal and put that out. I don't know. Here's the Ultraman Nexus booklet. What is that noise? Looks like they're putting about 7 episodes on each disc. I'll show it to you in just a second. All right. So here's how we're breaking it down. Disc 1 has episodes 1 through 7. So that's 7 episodes, 8 through 14, 15 to 22. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Don't put 11 episodes of a show on a disc. Spread it out. And they have. So discs 4 and 5. And then the last disc is Ultraman The Next. How long is that? 1 hour and 37 minutes. It's an anamorphic widescreen, Japanese Dolby Digital audio with English subtitles. That's actually the story for both of these. The show is in its original aspect ratio, 1:133, square box. And the movie is in anamorphic widescreen, which is pretty groovy, you guys. So there's the interior artwork. I guess they've done this. It's kind of got a reversible. It's not. I guess you could reverse it if you want to, because they've got this where this would be on the spine. No slipcover for these. I don't think any. Let's see. Yeah. The last batch didn't. I'm looking at them again. Let's see. Ultraman Tiga, Ultraman Dyna, Ultraman Gaia. Those had slipcovers. The Ultraman 80 had a slipcover. The Ultraman anime had a yeah, okay. So because someone was like, no slipcover. I understand. I think at this point they're just trying to get them out, and they're trying to keep their costs low. But anyway, so Ultraman Nexus is, I believe this is mid-November. November 15th is, I believe, the current date for this. But wait, there's more. Also from Mill Creek, The Most Dangerous Game. This is the latest adaptation of this story that's, it's at least 100 years old, right? The Most Dangerous Game. We had to read that in high school. That's a very famous old story. And there's a noir adaptation of it that I think is my favorite so far, but I don't remember. Maybe it's just called The Most Dangerous Game. It's on, Mill Creek did a noir set in association with VCI, and I think it's on volume 1. Do your research, do your independent research. But this one is, I'm really intrigued by it. By the way, this came in less than 24 hours ago. So again, a lot of the stuff I just haven't had a chance to watch yet. But I'm really intrigued by the cast here. So Christopher C.T. Tamburello, Casper Van Dien, who we all love from Starship Troopers, and Tarzan as well. Tom Berenger, Bruce Dern, and Judd Nelson. So that's a good cast, and I'm really interested to see how it all shakes out. And there's two bonus features here. If memory serves, there's nothing about it here, but if memory serves, this is one of the first movies that Mill Creek Entertainment, they helped make. Koenig Pictures and Mill Creek Entertainment present, in association with Shirash Productions and Quiet on the Set, a film by Justin Lee. Yeah, so Mill Creek is involved in the actual production of this movie. They're not just... Every time I talk about Mill Creek, people go like, oh, those 50 movie packs. It's like, do I have one handy? We all know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, that was Mill Creek like a decade ago. And they were still doing that 5 years ago. But Mill Creek has come a long, long way. And I would just reference you to, as I look at my shelf, to their releases of like Magnum PI, Charlie's Angels. They're doing incredible things. They still walk a line between budget releases and higher prestige releases. And I think that's probably a smart business model, but I love a lot of what they do. Like, I love that this is out now. I love that what they did with Ultraman, you guys, seriously, what they did with Ultraman is one of the best services that anybody could have ever asked for. Like, they're good in my book for the rest of my life because of what they did with Ultraman. Because you see, when other companies get these Toku titles, they'll do like one a year or two a year, and they're like $60-$70. These are like 20. And so, yeah, they're not super duper on the premium side. You know, it's not like they're not Blu-ray, because Blu-ray was not provided. Blu-ray masters, HD masters were not on the table. But that is like super ambitious. They've done dozens of releases since they picked up the license. Any other studio has yet to get past, I think, 3. I think did Shout Factory release 3 Ultramans? They knew they did Ultraman. I think they did Ultraman Ultra 7. I think they did. Did they do Ultra Q? I know the market's changed since they did that, but they're kind of doing the same thing with Kamen Rider. They're doing the same thing now with that, where they're like, well, we'll give you one and we'll see how it sells. You might get another one in a year, and it's going to be $70. And Mill Creek's like, here, but you like all of these? Have them all. I really appreciate that. So this is not a safe place to rag on Mill Creek. I think they're doing pretty fantastic stuff. Not to mention that I'm on a commentary. Mill Creek is the studio or the distributor that I have a commentary on. My first commentary coming up on the Thrills from the Vault collection from Columbia. It's Mill Creek doing Columbia titles. It's all 6 of Boris Karloff's movies for his horror movies at Columbia, and more movies. But I'm on The Man They Could Not Hang with C. Courtney Joyner. He's my mentor, and so I can't wait to get my hands on that. We'll be talking about it, but yeah, love Mill Creek, love what they're doing. All right, we're moving into some other territory here. This is indie stuff, and I'm gonna have to be real careful about this. Here's a for grown-ups double feature here. So we're going to start with The Last Romantic Lover, which is from Cult Epics. What year is this? 1970, 1978. I'm just going to hold this up, flip it around, and let you read the description on this. I have not watched this yet. And I know that this is one of those... I don't even know how to talk about this. 4K transfer from the original 35mm negative, audio commentary by Jeremy Ritchie, who's the author of the book Sylvia Christel, From Emmanuel to Chabrol, interview with Justin Jakin, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, 2020, interview with Dale Haddon from 2022, presentation at Cinémathèque Française, promotional gallery, Cult Epic trailers. If you love these kinds of movies, 4K restoration from the original camera negative. That's great. I have things to say about Quiet Days in Clichy. This comes with a limited edition. Oh, so this is Blue Underground. This is a 4K release from Blue Underground. I'm super surprised that it's a 4K release, because everything I say about 4Ks seems to not apply to this release, because it's 4Ks are often for, if not safe bets, then for there's just a lot of, like, Bill Lustig was on this channel talking about 4Ks. And he talks about how risky they are, how much of an investment they are, that they cost, 4K cost to manufacture 5 to 6 times more than a Blu-ray. So he must feel pretty good about Quiet Days in Clichy, because this feels like a big gamble to me, but he knows what he's doing. And he's been, so DVD, I think he's the guy that got it back into circulation for DVD back in the day, 20 years ago. Blu-ray, and now 4K. Bill Lustig is always a format leader with the movies that he cares about and the movies that he thinks are important. So Quiet Days in Clichy, this is going to come, I have it, but I can't show it. It's got a slipcover, a limited edition slipcover that is so not safe for YouTube at all. So I can't show it. And the discs, I can't show either. It has reversible artwork, and I can't show that either. This is an adult. It's a movie for adults. I'm picking my words again because YouTube. I don't want to lose my monetization here. This is a movie about these two guys in Paris who just spend all day. You with me? All day. Actually, all night is like, and that's kind of the thing. I think it's a satire. If you've seen the movie, I'm curious what you think. I think the movie is saying that these characters have empty lives and that there's more than that, they're not well-rounded and that they're not living their best life, that they're kind of empty. I think that's what the movie is saying. But it's open to interpretation. It's essentially an art film. Is it 1970 or 69? It's 1970, but it feels like a 1969 movie. Soundtrack is provided by Country Joe McDonald of Country Joe and the Fish, who, if you're a 60s music fan, you know is like Woodstock. This movie came out the same year that the Woodstock movie came out. So it feels like the same thing. It's a very libertine, we're all going to die. Life is short. Let's just enjoy ourselves while we're here. But again, within that, I think it's a criticism, or at least a satire. It's based on Henry Miller's novel. He wrote, very explicit graphic fiction for men. And you know what this movie really feels like to me, and this is where we can kind of get into like a more elevated conversation about Quiet Days and Clichy. Have you ever seen Richard Lester's movies from the 60s? It's Hard Day's Night, right? The Beatles. But before Hard Day's Night, he had done the Running, Jumping, Standing Still. Is it the Running, Jumping, Standing Still movie? Or is it just the Running, Jumping, and Standing Still? Anyway, he did these really like surreal movies. I'm going to reference The Knack and How to Get It, which if you haven't seen and you like 60s movies, these are way off the beaten path as far as like mainstream studio pictures, but they're good. And by the way, if you've never seen The Knack and How to Get It, and you also love Last Night in Soho, check out The Knack. But they're existential, artistic, satirical. Like in this movie, what the characters are thinking like comes out in thought bubbles and things, and it's usually very graphic. And this movie opens with a warning. It's like, if you don't, this is your last chance. But it's not horror. Horror movies will do that. Frankenstein does that. This is a very, very graphic movie. Clutch your pearls. It's just really frank. But I don't think that it's the P word, and I don't think that it's. I think it's an art film. I really do, and I think that was the intention. And it feels French. It's got that sensibility. So anyway, the 4K is great. Video quality is great, as we expect. I don't think Blue Underground. Looking at the Blue Underground collection, I don't think they've put out anything that was less than stellar. It's all really good stuff. We've got some extras here. A new deleted scene that runs about 6 minutes. The new theatrical trailer in 4K. And then on the Blu-ray, they've carried over all the legacy bonus features. So the Country Joe McDonald interview is here. An examination of the author is here. Midnight Blue interview with Barney Russett. That deleted scene, the theatrical trailer. A poster and stills gallery. That's what's interesting, because you can see the cover of the book. You can see how this movie was marketed both in America and in Europe. The book cover gallery. The court documents are new. Here, I think I can... Well, let's show you... do this. Here's your special features right here. That's what you want to focus on. So, it's loaded with like all the legal stuff. It's a fascinating document about Quiet Days and Clichy. I'm really glad to have it. I'm not recommending it. If this is for you or not. If you need, like a really explicit movie for kicks, probably not going to deliver for you. If you're looking for like a really mainstream narrative, probably not going to deliver for you. But if you're into an experimental art film from the very late, when the 60s turn into the 70s, and you are into like, who are we? What are we here for? Then that's probably for you. If you own Woodstock on Blu-ray or DVD or have the album somewhere, this might be for you. From MVD, they've released No Escape with Ray Liotta. Rest in peace, Ray Liotta. I can't believe that. I haven't watched this one in a while. Unearthed Classics put this out. Unearthed is doing great stuff. And it's got a ton of special features. You guys see all these features here? Let me get that. Did this have alternate artwork? I can't remember. No alternate artwork. I'm going to speed up a little bit. I'm running along on certain things. At Close Range from the MVD Rewind collection. Great movie. Great movie. I've reviewed this already. Imprint put this out. I don't remember what number it was, but Imprint put this out. It's a great movie. Sean Penn, a young Sean Penn, and he's like, if you like, what year is this? I'm looking for it. I don't see it. Why is it so hard to find the year on some of these movies? Anyway, like after Spicoli, but you see what a great actor Sean Penn is in like the building blocks for the guy that was, you know, soon to come, but he's still so young. And then Christopher Walken is here as well. Crispin Glover is in this. Tracy Walter is in this. It's a crime movie, but it's also like a drama, kind of a family drama. It's hard to explain, but it's definitely worth seek it out. Everyone needs to see this movie. If you like movies, you need to see this movie. And what do you gotta talk you into watching something with Christopher Walken? I don't think so. You've got Crispin Glover, you've got Christopher Walken, and it's directed by James Foley, who's... So hold on. So what are special features? So we got audio commentary with James Foley, hosted by Nick Redman, isolated score, and then the reversible artwork. So these are the two pieces of artwork. Comes with a mini poster, as all these MVD Rewind collections do. If you're worried about the slipcover, get your order in early, and it comes highly recommended. From Cauldron Films, this is a wave I'm really excited about. These just showed up too. Lucio Fulci's Contraband, which is a 1980 movie that, if you only know Fulci from horror, same guy. Because he did comedies and stuff. Dude, this is what I was talking about with who was it with? Oh, it was my Fran Simeone review, Radiance Films. Fran Simeone coming out of Arrow Video, where he was at Arrow for 12 years. Left Arrow, has started his own company, Radiance Films, and I asked him about, you know, is he seeking out movies that have been unexplored on home media? I was like, what about, you know, like Fulci made comedies in the 60s. Like, where are those? But anyway, same director. It's still Fulci. It's still super graphic, but not horror, more crime. Look at this cast. Fabio Testi, Ivana Monti, Saverio Marconi, and then also Murder in a Blue World. A movie that I have not seen, so I can't really speak too much about it, but it looks very interesting. In a violent, dystopian, consumer-fed future. Is it the future or is it now? In 1971, Stanley Kubrick changed dystopian cinema forever with The Clockwork Orange. 2 years later, transgressive Spanish genre director Eloy de la Iglesia unleashed this thought-provoking and beautifully shot future world that was also known as A Clockwork Terror. So, new 2K restoration. What was this? Is this and also, I didn't show you the special features. So here's the covers. I'm losing my voice, guys. And this is not good because I've got an interview after this. All right. From Full Moon, Trancers 5. Still sealed. They haven't even taken it out of the shrink wrap yet. I love that these are coming to Blu-ray. See my review for Trancers on 4K. Super controversial release. But Trancers on Blu-ray continues to be a big hit. You got all 1 through 5 now on Blu-ray. And I love that these movies exist on Blu-ray. So we'll talk more about this soon. I think that these next 4... I know some of these are reissues. Well, here, I'll talk about the ones that I know. So previously, Scorpion. These are all Scorpion releasing. And they would partner with Ronin Flicks, which is where I think I bought some of these. And they would be Ronin Flicks site exclusives. But now, MVD is helping to distribute these. So you can get these at retail. You can get these on Amazon, I guess, Best Buy. I know Amazon. Maybe check Bull Moose or something like that. But I know for a fact because the Peace Killers I bought from Ronin Flicks. And the Cycle Savages I bought from Ronin Flicks. These are great biker movies. And then also, they are issuing, and I think it's the same situation here, but you guys can let me know because I don't have these, or I didn't have these, now I do. A Small Texas Town and LA Bounty. So more Scorpion releasing titles that I think were Ronin exclusives, Ronin Flicks exclusives. Sybil Danning and Wings Hauser is a recipe for success. A Small Texas Town is Timothy Bottoms, Susan George, and Bo Hopkins. You cannot go wrong with Bo Hopkins. All right, from MVD, also the Tubular Bells 50th Anniversary Tour. You guys know that music, Tubular Bells, man. You know that music. It's iconic. And this is they went on tour with Tubular Bells. And let's see, we're gonna get indie here for the very end. So this is from MVD as well. This is called Solo, and it's a documentary about 6 dancers. You know what I almost dropped it. You know what I've heard is that rhythm is a dancer, and you can feel it everywhere. Also, from Film Movement, Adieu Godard. This who is this quote from? Neely Swanson from Easy Reader says, very enjoyable and thoroughly absurd. The acting is exceptional. Unidentified from Film Movement. You guys let me know if you're into these indie picks. I like to cover them. I like to show everything that comes out. Let me know if this is for you. I like to know what the audience is interested in. Queen of Glory. And this was from, who was this from? Film Movement. Okay, I was thinking maybe that was somebody else. But Film Movement always puts these bonus shorts on there, which I like. Oh, this doesn't have a bonus. This is a commentary and deleted scenes. This one has a bonus short. It's like a film festival experience. And I just think that's cool. You're only getting that on physical media, right? That's why we love physical media. I think that's really cool. Like, you're getting an experience. All right, so guys, that's going to do a huge video. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it in the comments below. I like these videos to be jumping off points. Here's what I say now. It's like, this is like being in the video store, the video rental store, our Suncoast Motion Picture Company, whatever. When you would just go in, hang out, and talk. Maybe you never had this experience, but before Netflix and before Redbox, you would go into a brick and mortar store and you would browse and you would say like, oh, this is what I want to watch. And you pick up the box, but you would talk to other people about it. And you get recommendations to be like, well, I don't know if you're going to like this one, but if you do like this, you also want to check this out. That's how our fandoms were born. That's how we thrive as a community. And that's what I want these videos to be a jumping off point. So the comments below this are the perfect place for that. Please remember to subscribe, to like these videos, spread the word. Support us on Patreon if you can. This channel is completely user supported. Don't really do sponsorships. I have done a few. I'm wearing a t-shirt from one of our sponsors, but for the most part, it's just supported by you guys. So thank you so much. Take care. Until next time, I will catch you later.